Wisdom, Simplicity, Part 1. Decisions, Decisions. Decisions, every book must begin with a single word, and no word could better describe a book about life. Indeed, no word could better describe a book regarding the simplicity of this life. We all wake up in the morning every day, and the first thought is to decide what we are to do that day. We will decide if we are to work, do nothing, play, see our family or friends, or any number of other things that day. The moment you lift your head from the pillow, you have made a decision. As the day progresses, more decisions must be made. This has been the course of your life since the day you were born. All evidence to the contrary, the first decision you ever made in this world was to scream at the top of your little lungs the moment you departed from your mother's womb. Why did you do that? Babies' decisions. Babies have no decisions to make in life. Wrong. Babies have as many decisions to make as you do. Theirs are merely more simple than yours, or so you think. Hunger, thirst, pain, sleep, and wetting a diaper, these are simple bodily decisions, but they do happen, and babies do let others know when the decisions have been made and to what degree it has been made. Attention, touching, wanting to be alone, playing, exploring, and trying to convey thoughts to others. These are quite involved decisions, and babies are able to make them. Showing affection towards some, wondering about others, and not wanting to associate with a few, or even more complex decisions that babies are quite comfortable making. Will people ever understand these decisions babies make? Probably not. Are these decisions important enough for us to understand? No, because they do not affect what is right or wrong in this world. They are personal decisions, no different than many decisions you make each day. A parent's job is to learn to understand their children, and the experts are right. Watch these decisions and you will learn much about their personality even while they are an infant. There are some decisions your baby is going to make, and there is nothing you can or should do about it. If your baby is not naturally attracted to Aunt B, that is a decision your baby has made, and you should respect it as much as it might bother you. That tiny infant is perfectly capable of making its own decisions regarding Aunt B. Again, this has nothing to do with right or wrong. Has anyone ever told you that you will make Uncle A your best friend whether you like it or not? Babies are perfectly capable of deciding what comes natural to them, so allow them this free will. Children's decisions. Children truly are a wonderment of this world, and the term wonderment can be construed to mean an institution upon this world. Much time will be spent regarding the phrase between infancy and puberty, the age of hormones, because there is so much adults can learn from children. While children truly know little regarding safety, danger, evil, responsibility, and respect, children definitely know right from wrong. This is where many will disagree, but only because of the vanities they preach. When a child is angry, they show it. When a child is happy, they show it. When a child is sorry, they show it. All of this is normal. A child cannot hide their emotions, but a child cannot retain their emotions either. A child is absolutely incapable of long-term ill will against another person unless an adult makes this happen. Learn this, because this is one of the most important lessons in life that you can relearn as an adult. Of course, children need to be taught. This is not the subject of this book. This book is about simplicity, and simplicity is what mankind has abandoned in this world. Fortunately, common sense has not been abandoned. Common sense is what will help you learn from your children. And here is what you can learn from your child. Feel what you feel and do something about it. Within a 15-minute time span, children can go from being best friends to worst enemies and back to best friends. This is only because a child does not understand ill will. Why? Because ill will is something children learn from adults. Yes, you must teach your children about decisions, but at any time you teach them about ill will, you are preaching your vanities. Anytime you teach your child about ill will or any other vanity, you have decided that your child does not possess the ability to decide right from wrong. Remember, this book is about you, not about your children, because regarding their little life, they already have their life figured out and are quite comfortable in their life. Example: your child Johnny is playing with his best friend Charlie. They are in a room full of toys, but at one instance they both want the same toy at the same time. Now they are not best friends anymore. Each of them had made their decision, and this is part of life. Grown-ups never go through this, do they? Each of these children has a greater decision to make now. Is the toy more important than the friend? The toy nearly always wins. One child is going to win and one is going to lose. If you think your child has anything to do with this, then you are missing the point. Both Johnny and Charlie have decisions to make at this point, and grown-ups are nowhere to be found. Anytime two 6-year-old children have 6-year-old decisions to make, it is better than an adult not be around to mess things up. The first time this happens, one child will win and the other will lose. The name of the child matters not. In the normal course of human decisions, the actual events means nothing. Remember this, because one child will always find another perfectly suitable toy in that room to enjoy. The moment the other child finds their replacement toy, all hostilities end, and after a very short time, both are best friends again. Here is where many so-called experts will disagree, but here is where they start preaching their vanities also. Now let's assume a worst-case scenario. Nearly every time the two children will settle their differences, but let's make this the absolute worst-case scenario. Your child loses every disagreement. Truly winning every disagreement is just as bad. But in this case, your 6-year-old still has a 6-year-old decision to make, so allow your 6-year-old child to make his 6-year-old decision. When your little Johnny comes to you and says he does not want to play with Charlie today, he has made his 6-year-old decision, and you should honor that decision. Yes, talk to him about it, but if the ground he stands on is firm, and the more than that is honest, then respect Johnny's decision. This is good parenting. But what can an adult learn from all this? Your child's tribulations in this life are no different than your own. Are you going to win all contests in this world or lose all contests in this world? No, only a fool would believe such. Do you have decisions to make regarding those who you spend your time with? Absolutely. The toys are our vanity in this world. They are of no importance. Read that again. The toys are our vanities in this world. They are of no importance. How you deal with others and treat others is important. You and your child, Johnny, will come across others who take and never stop taking. It is not the taking that is important. It is the importance that they place upon the taking. Now, you have a truly important decision to make. A grown-up's decision, it would seem. Are you to become the same as them? Or are you to cower down and continue giving up all that you know to be right? Or are you to be like your child and look elsewhere for happiness in your life? Learn what children can teach you. Regarding the lessons of vanity, learn what children already know. Children do not learn these things. They find these things already in their heart. How many people do you know in life that always win or always lose? Life is not about winning or losing. You know this is to be true. Life is about deciding what is right and wrong for you. You have to decide to stay away from people who will only continue taking. You have to decide to stay away from those who always lose, continue giving. The latter is difficult to understand, but do you want your child to spend their life only giving, or do you want your child to find the middle ground? Find your equals in this world who can give and take. This means to give and take from a child's point of view. The vanities are not important, the actual giving and taking, but the willingness to give and the willingness to take equally is what matters in you and is what matters in others. Children learn this lesson early in life. It is we adults who forget this lesson. Children understand simple things, grown-up forget simple things. Here is the lesson we can learn from children. Children have no problems making decisions as to right or wrong, and children have no problem living with their decisions. It is we grown-ups who see everything as winning or losing. We have all been taught that winning is good and losing is bad. Children only see things as giving and taking. Children do not have a problem balancing these. For who in this life has not enjoyed winning and not hated losing? But who in this life has not minded giving and not minded taking when circumstances have called for it? This is the simplicity of life that all people need to learn. There are things you need to stand up for and fight for sometimes, and things you need to give up, vanities or toys that are not important. Adolescent decisions. Very little time will be spent on this stage of life for many reasons. For learning purposes, this is a wasted time of life. For teaching purposes, this is a wasted time of life. Regarding our grown-up, this is a wasted time of life. And this is important for each person. Adolescent or puberty can be a defining moment in life. The term moment is used because adolescence really only lasts for a few short years. Nothing but one's self is important during adolescence. All experts be damned, here is the truth of adolescence. Yes, this is a time of raging hormones. This is not important. Yes, this is a child's and parents' most trying of times. This is not important. As in any other part of life, the decisions are important. Allow your child to grow through those hormonal changes. It will happen whether you like it or not. In a small way, adolescence is a parent's signal that the teaching of right and wrong is nearly over. The child has learned that there is an enormous world out there and they are nearly grown up. The child is right. Read that again. The child is right. If, and this is a big if, but if you have guided your child properly, now is where you watch your child closely and observe the decisions they make in life. When their decisions are hormonal, deal with this intelligently, firmly, and with the patience of an adult. Adolescents do not understand intelligence, but they absolutely understand firmness, and believe it or not, they really do understand patience if it comes with firmness. They will not let you know this, but it is absolutely true. This is true of all people in every stage of life. The intelligent, firm, and patient parent will always win. Observe the decisions your adolescent child makes in this world, and you will find where you were lacking earlier during their childhood. Excluding their hormonal decisions, all of the decisions your child makes are purely a reflection of your effort in the past. Do not take this personally, but rather as your knowing where your work now lies regarding your child. Now, if you have not guided your child properly in the past, this is your last chance to do so, because for you too, your child in adolescence is telling you that they have decided that there is an enormous world out there and they are nearly grown up. If you have failed as a parent up to this point, then this is your signal that you have arrived at your last chance to teach them anything. Know that they have watched you for a great many years. Adolescence is a parent's warning that this is their last chance to get things right, major things anyway. What does a last chance mean? Common sense tells you that a last chance means to double your efforts in every way. Double your attention, double your efforts, double your rewards toward their actions, and double your punishment toward their actions. Believe it or not, this also means to double your wisdom, because you do not have time for mistakes as you did in the past. Simply stated as promised, you will find where Mighty God Ahaya has done exactly the same with mankind in the Bible and in all other faiths. As a side note from this author, do not double your punishments if you do not double your rewards, or vice versa. If you care to take this side note as being from Mighty God Ahaya himself, please do so, because you will find this all through your Bible and other faiths if you care to check for yourself. This is where the author found this bit of wisdom. This all simple stated is what adolescence is all about. It is in a small way a child's last chance to learn from their parents. Yes, they will always have their sense of right and wrong found in their heart to fall back on. And it is in a big way a parent's last chance to teach their children anything they failed to teach in the past. The miracle of Mighty God Ahaya in life is that it is oh so obvious to the parent and to the child when this point of life has been reached. Remember intelligence, firmness, and patience. Think, be strong in your decisions, and know that you are right, and the child really does understand what is right. Have faith in your child. Young adults' decisions. Young adults truly have come across many truths in life, many truths. Their parents might not realize or admit this, but it is true. Young adults have learned that they are going to make their own decisions regarding most aspects of life. Yes, they will return to seek their parents' judgments when something new comes along, but these will be fewer and fewer as time goes on. Yes, this is when they will listen to their parents more than any other part of their life, but the young adult accept that they are very much on their own now. Many will argue this, and the author could possibly lose this argument, but in a way, this is one stage of life where all mistakes are forgiven by God. The young adult is looking for their place in this life. They are going to make the same mistakes that every other person has made. The young adult is now fully in this world and is searching for their place based upon what they know and what they believe. Knowing is easy, believing is a bit trickery. We all test what we believe and then learn from the results of these tests, but these results can be misleading as any test can be. Or what we test against can so much determine the outcome, but every person has in their heart the ability to know the difference between right and wrong and the ability to learn from their mistakes. This stage of life is where so many people choose so many paths in this life. While the decisions are oh so forgivable, the paths are not. This is because the choice to follow a certain path reflects what is in one's heart. Understand this clearly. The decisions and mistakes are merely a part of finding your path, the way you treat others and the way you treat yourself. But the path chosen reflects what is truly in your heart. This is where so many people will cry foul. These people will claim that there are too many reasons a person can fail in this world. And do you know what? They are right. There truly are many reasons a person can fail. The reasons are not important, but the paths chosen are, and this is where these people crying foul have failed. This world and this life have been designed so that we all must face the consequences of our poor decisions. Yes, this is a fact. Indeed, this is a sad fact. Some people just cannot deal with sadness. This is their only shortcoming, in that they cannot deal with sadness. Well, life in Mighty God Ahaya is not as forgiving as these people are, so stay with life in Mighty God Ahaya, allowing all others to deal with their poor decisions. Life in Ahaya, our Mighty God and Heavenly Father, has always forgiven those who fight their way past their failures. Making excuses is the opposite of fighting and has no part in forgiveness. Have faith in the decisions you make in life, and have faith and patience in the decisions others make in life. Patience that they will always have the ability to learn from their mistakes. Some people learn early in life. Some people have to find rock bottom before they learn, and sadly, some people never seem to find rock bottom. Never judge others as being wrong. Just see them as on their way toward finding that they can walk away from their mistakes and poor decisions anytime they want to. But let them also find that someday they will indeed pay for their mistakes just as you have. This is the only way to grow. If we do not pay for our mistakes, sometimes harshly, then we cannot grow. Adults' decisions. Regarding life, adults have much working for them and much working against them regarding decisions. Some of what works against adults are as follows. Adults have a lifelong history in believing certain ideas. Lifelong beliefs can become comfortable to us even if they are wrong. Adults have learned to invent shades of gray to justify the poor decisions they have made. This means they invent excuses to quiet their conscience, which is now screaming at them. Adults have learned to ignore these things that might bother their conscience. It takes a while, but we have all learned to let certain ideas go right past us, knowing that we should pay attention to them. All of this is normal. All of this is part of life. Every person upon the face of this author included, does this. The traits we have working against us are just as part of this life, but hopefully the traits we have working for us in this world will prevail. The most obvious trait we have is that every person is able to tell the difference between right and wrong. This has been discussed so much in these books that nothing more needs to be said. Adults also have patience. We need not correct everything right now. Adults have intelligence and faith in their ability to correct their lives. All of these traits working for adults are very powerful. We know that we cannot require to have our lives settled while we are in our 30s. Suffice it to say that adults have enough working on their behalf to be able to correct decisions and to be able to accept responsibility for their poor decisions. The most important trait a person must possess in this world is the ability to care. If a person cares enough about their future and how the decisions they make will affect their future, then this person has enough ability to determine the outcome of their life. Education and intelligence matters not. Wealth or the lack of wealth matters not. Faith in mighty God Ahaya or the lack of faith matters not, for we all have the same decisions to make in this life, and we all have the tools and the ability to make the correct decisions, or to not make the correct decisions. It is all up to us, each one of us. One difference between adulthood and infancy is that adulthood lasts longer and the decisions made by adults last longer. Oh, to be a child again, this author firmly believes that it is our poor decisions that cause adults to say these words. It is those traits working against us and our conscience, which is usually ignored, that gives us the desire to somehow start all over and somehow get this life right. The truth is that most people would build their life exactly the same if they had the chance to repeat their life. This is because the truth is, and pay attention here, that you can start your life all over right now if you want to. Your life is not about your chosen profession, income, education, or the car you drive. Your life is the decisions you make about any number of things to be discussed in this book, and you can start making these correct decisions right now if you care to. Oh, to be God someday. This author firmly believes that mankind has never uttered these words because people have never been adequately taught to consider the true enjoyment and good that can come from their decisions. Why is that? It is because those traits working for us in this world are rarely rewarded except within our own heart and conscience. Mighty God Ahaya, our Heavenly Father, is of the next world, and there are no rewards of the next world to be found on this earth, but the rewards found within your heart and your conscience will indeed benefit you here by way of the faith you build in yourself, not in Mighty God Ahaya. Know that there is no greater defense against life than the faith a person has in their self. Others would have you transfer their faith toward the vanities they prescribe. These vanities including wealth, education, and position in life. Here your vanities as taught by others control your life, thereby causing you to sacrifice any control you might have over your life. Others would have you transfer this faith toward Mighty God Ahaya, where it is out of your control. Once your faith is out of your control, your eternal life is out of your control. And this is where they really begin preaching their vanities about faith and forgiveness. Ahaya, our mighty God, has never but ever uttered these words through any faith. This author will prove all of this before these books of wisdom are finished. So why is it that adults in this world have never been adequately taught about the consequences of their decisions? Adults always teach this to children. Could it be that modern religion has totally failed in its preaching of Mighty God Ahaya's messages, rights and wrongs? Could it be that modern religion does not want to offend those who contribute money? Could it be that modern religion does not want to hurt person's feelings for fear of driving that person away so they couldn't collect their precious collection? Could it be that modern religion does not understand that Mighty God Ahaya truly wants our feelings to be hurt from time to time? Could it be that Ahaya, our Mighty God, wants our feelings hurt so that we will make changes in our lives when changes are needed? It could be just so. No, it is exactly so. Think about it. The only time an intelligent person's feelings are hurt is when they come to realize that what someone else said about them is right. No matter who you are, try to think about the last time a religious speaker or an organized religion hurt your feelings. It does not matter if you are a churchgoer, a religious person, or neither. We have all flipped through religious stations on the television and paused to hear a religious person speaking for a while. No matter who you are, when it is the last time you heard someone say anything bad about you and you then thought, that guy might just be right. This really makes me mad, but that guy just might be right. In all likelihood, this has never happened to you. In all likelihood, all you have ever heard is these people trying to placitate you and make you feel good about yourself, or placate you and make you feel good about yourself. Religious leaders by mighty God our highest design are supposed to speak the truth of this world to you, whether you want to hear it or not. Modern religion believes it was put here to bring people to mighty God our higher by any means possible. The truth is that modern religion was put here to speak the plain truth and to then allow those hearing the truth to make their own decisions. Modern religion was put here to teach mankind that if we cannot make even the smallest effort to decide that life here indeed includes all other people and the way we treat all other people, then we have totally failed in mighty God our highest design for this earth. Regarding any intelligent person, only the truth can hurt. Lies never hurt. Lies never really pierce our soul. Yes, no matter who you are, these words you read now or listening to do hurt, but yes, this hurting is good. Another difference between adulthood and infancy is that we adults do not have someone to guide us through our mistakes, so we put a shield around us, and when any truth cuts through our shield, our feelings get hurt. Yes, this too is good. We should all have our feelings hurt from time to time because none of us is perfect, and we should always cherish that person who was open and honest enough to speak the truth. To modern day religion, here is your failure, here is your lesson, and here is your future. The elderly's decision. Very little shall be said concerning the decisions old folks make in this life. Old folks know more about the consequences of decisions than anyone. What old folks have learned in life could fill libraries. One of the greatest tragedies in life is that mankind has rarely listened to old folks. For here we have a person who has gone before us, and we, in our foolishness, dismiss them because times have changed and they are living in yesterday's world. Nothing has changed. Our precious feelings should be especially hurt because we denied or ignore their wisdom. Oh, having our feelings hurt can lead to many wonderful things. It will seem to this author at least the old folks must be laughing at things the rest of us do. By the terms old folks, this means people in their 70s or 80s or even more or possibly less. In order to see the silliness of others, one has to be in the twilight of their life. The exact age does not matter, and just being old is not enough. So many of us have seen loved ones stricken with cancer or some other illness, and the changes that then took place within this person. When a person, regardless of their age, can truly see the end, they look differently upon this world. Things that used to be important no longer are. Why is that? Read that again. Why is that? Vanity, my friend, vanity. When a person can see the end, they can see what should have always been important to them. Listen to these people. Every person should dedicate a small part of their life toward listening to the words of a dying person, for there is so much to be learned here. Will this world always have to deal with the vanities found here? Absolutely. But vanities need to be balanced by the truth of this world, and our old folks possess this truth. Is it selfish to seek the truth from those who possess the truth? Absolutely. Do old folks wish they had done so earlier themselves and listened to the truth from others? Absolutely. Selfishness is part of this life. Regarding anyone possessing the truth, believe that it is an act of giving on their part more than it is an act of selfishness on your part. Allow others to freely give to you. This is what life has always been about, giving. So do let others give to you. All of this is based upon one premise. that of caring. All of this goes back to the decisions an infant is capable of making. An infant knows exactly what they care about. All of this goes back to your ability to decide what we care about in this world. My friend, the decisions we make are always based upon what we care about in this world, and in today's world, especially what we usually care about comes before our sense of right and wrong. It has been said so many times in these books that Mighty God Ahaya has written his laws within the heart of each person, and that each person has the ability to decide between right and wrong. What this really means is that Mighty God Ahaya has given us the ability to care about life, and it is only our vanity directed so well by Satan that can bury our priorities in this life. Ahaya, or El Elohim, Mighty God and Father, does not care what form of government we live under. We all have to decide what we care about in this world. In this regard, we are all free. Examine your own life. Do your cares in this world rule over the rights and wrongs found in your heart? If so, then you have a problem, to be honest. Never let honesty offend you, but do let it guide you in your judgments. Think about what you just read here, for this is very important to you. So why was nearly nothing said here regarding the decisions of old folks and the dying? Because they have reached a point of life where their decisions are nearly always right. All the rest of the world has to do is take lessons from the old and the dying. So learn from them, because they are closer to the truth than the rest of us. There comes a point in every person's life where they can truly see this world for what it is. The sad fact is that for the most people, this only comes near to the end. Life does not have to be this way. Any person who so chooses can freely decide to see the vanities of this life. All you have to do is care to see these vanities. There is no rule that you have to wait for death to see the truth. But there is one rule, Mighty God Ahaya's rule, that you must care before you can see the truth. Decisions, decisions. This is what life is all about, and this is why we were put here upon this earth. We were not put upon this earth to find Mighty God Ahaya, religion, power, wealth, politics, and any other else found upon this earth. We were put here to learn about life and the decisions we make regarding life, and to grow up by way of learning from our mistakes. This is what Mighty God Ahaya, our Heavenly Father, has always told mankind, regardless of their faith. Indeed, you might do well to consider the following to be a cold and hard truth of this world: that every person who ever lived had no chance of escaping the results of their decisions, neither the master or servant, rich or poor, nor the wise man or the fool. These very words came from Solomon, perhaps the richest and wisest person who ever lived, and know how he saw this fault in him. And we're going to stop at that today. We will continue with Simplicity Part 2 tomorrow. Thank you for listening.